Welcome back, and today we're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen episode 13. So like always, let's just jump into it. Alright, before we jump into the new episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, I did change up the background a little bit. I'm no longer using the green screen, but let me know in the comments, do you prefer the green screen or you prefer this background? Of course, I will be adding more stuff to the wall back there, you know, more Funko Pops, more anime stuff. We'll see how it goes, but definitely let me know. I definitely want to know what you think, which one is better. But we're here for Jujutsu Kaisen, so let's talk about that because this episode was 100% fire. I mean, the fight between Mahito and Nanami and Itadori was absolutely just gorgeous to look at. I mean, the animation, Studio Mappa, I don't know how they're doing it, but it was just pure amazing. Again, just seeing every little movement that all three of these characters were doing, it was absolutely great. And I do have to say, I love Mahito as a villain. Just how evil he is, and the way his powers work is also very unique. I love how he's able to change every little bit of his body, and it just looks like an absolute monster. And I love his personality as a villain, and I also love his powers. And whenever he sent those little, I mean, I'm gonna call them babies, because that's at the very least what they looked like, right? They looked like little kids, which probably tells you that Mahito went to like a park or something, and he definitely killed some kids. It's messed up, but again, that's part of Mahito and how evil he is, and just how he doesn't have any regard for human life. And the fact that he sent these little kids after Itadori, knowing very well that Itadori was not going to be able to deal with this, it was awesome from the villain perspective, right? It was a good plan. It was awesome. And now seeing Itadori fighting those little, you know, kids and choking one out, and like the kids saying, oh, you know, help me, let's play, and all those little words, I was like, damn, you know, Itadori won't be able to get through this. Now, they didn't exactly show how Itadori handled those kids, but you can probably tell that he actually went and destroyed them, because how else will he get away from them, right? And then later in the episode, we see the body bags. It was messed up, but Itadori as a character was able to grow out of that. And, you know, I kind of like that because I feel like other shonen animes would have worked around it. They probably would have found a way to save those kids and something along those lines. And that to me just feels like a generic shonen story. So I'm glad that Itadori at the very least was able to deal with it, because he knew there was no other way around it. And that's what they implied, right? Now, of course, we do have to talk about the highlight of this fight, Mahito doing his domain expansion. I did not see that one coming, and it was freaky too, because I mean, the scene was funny, right? We see Mahito is getting jumped by Nanami and Itadori. I mean, he was just getting blasted. It was funny. It was awesome. I honestly thought that he was gonna die in this episode. I was like, whoa, are they really about to kill Mahito in this episode? Like, I really like him as a villain. I definitely want to see more of him. And, you know, at the end of the episode, we do get to see that Mahito is going to be like the opposite of Itadori. Like, he might be the main antagonist for a very long time, because we now know that Itadori wants to get revenge on Mahito. He definitely wants to put a stop to him. So I feel like that's going to be like the main rivalry in this anime, right? Like Mahito versus Itadori for a very long time. So I'm proud of that. I'm good about that, because I do love Mahito as a villain. But yeah, whenever he did his domain expansion and we got Nanami's you know, flashback, how his life used to be before he went back to Jujutsu Tech and started working as a sorceress, it was really awesome. I like his backstory, right? Because we find out that one, he was never able to achieve domain expansion. That's like the last little huddle that top tier sorcerers are able to do, and Nanami was never able to complete that step. Maybe that's why he gave up earlier on, and he decided to be a salary man. And he's like a stockbroker. He buys, you know, stocks for rich people. It makes him more money, you know. And we see that the company doesn't really care how much money they're making. They just really want to make the most profit for the company. It doesn't matter if they're lying to the customers. And we see that Nanami is kind of struggling, right? He was kind of thinking like, I don't care about anything. I just want more money. Money makes me happy. But that's not the case. We see that he's actually very, very miserable. I mean, his face expression, I mean, he's always serious. But to me, it just seemed like a lot was worrying him, right? When he was talking to that bakery girl and he saw the little curse in her shoulder, you know, he didn't do anything about it. He was like, it's no big deal, whatever. But later on, he kind of, you know, that's when he changed his mind. He decided to help out, and that's when he called Gojo. He called Gojo, and Gojo, of course, he's a great character. He was laughing at him because he knew that he was gonna come back, and I liked that, right? Because Nanami was ready to give up. Well, not give up, but he knew he was done for, right? Because once you're in a domain expansion, you're gonna get hit. It's 100% that you're going to get hit, and if you don't have a way to counter that, you're pretty much dead. Especially with the way that Mahito's power works. If he touches you, he's gonna change your soul, and his GG, well played. So Nanami accepted his death. He knew he was gonna go out, and of course, that's when Itadori comes in. He was able to break into the dimension. Now, they do explain that, you know, the outside is a lot weaker than the inside, because the way it works, it's supposed to trap people in, but it's not really intended for people to break into that domain, because it doesn't make any sense, right? If you break into it, you are essentially signing up to get hit 100% by any attack that the user is using. So it doesn't really make sense for the outside to be hard. But yeah, Itadori comes in, and dang, Sukuna was not happy. He literally one-shotted Mahito because he invaded his soul once again, and he did give him a warning. And you know, I love this about Sukuna, right? Like, we know that character is pure evil. He doesn't care about nobody. But earlier, like last episode, whenever Mahito and Sukuna were laughing at Itadori, a scene that I absolutely love, it kind of gives you the wonder, like, are they working together? We know that Mahito is trying to get Sukuna on their side, but it doesn't seem like Sukuna is on the same page, right? I think maybe Sukuna doesn't know that all these evil curses are trying to like break him free from Itadori or some type of plan. But I mean, it was just an awesome scene that we had last episode. And in this episode, we see that Sukuna really, the only allegiance that he has is to himself. He gave Mahito a warning. If you touch my soul again, it's game over. And yeah, it was game over. I mean, he literally one-shotted Mahito. And we do have to talk about that scene because to me, it looked weird. It looked like it was CGI. Like whenever Sukuna like slashed Mahito open, to me, it looked like CGI. And I don't know, but I was kind of like double taking on that shot because I was like, was that CGI? Did it transition to CGI real quick? And it looked weird. And that was it. Essentially, that was it of the fight. It was awesome. Nanami was rescued. I was kind of scared because I do like Nanami as a character. And while this is a shonen anime, I didn't expect any characters to die. I do feel like this would have been a great spot for Nanami to go. One, we got his flashback. That was awesome. But it would have definitely like hit Itadori hard. Like if Nanami would have died in this episode, I can't even imagine what Itadori would have gone through. So I feel like that would have been some type of character development for Itadori. Him knowing his limitations and that he needs to get a lot stronger if he wants to protect the people that he loves. But that wasn't the case. Nothing really happened. There was no consequences to this fight. At least Mahito did suffer some consequences though. He got one-shotted. Definitely hurt, but he was able to get away. Now, next episode, I believe we're not gonna get a new episode till January, I believe. So we'll see where that one is gonna go. But I really am excited about this anime. I'm planning on reading the manga once it's done. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about is why is Sukuna so interested in Fushiguro? We know, like, you know, 4 or 5 episodes ago, maybe a little bit more, like 6, whenever he had that encounter with Fushiguro, he said that he had so much potential. And, you know, in this episode, Sukuna made the point that he doesn't care about anybody. He will kill anybody except Fushiguro. So he definitely has a huge interest in that character. And I'm wondering what it is. I'm really curious as to what that is. Hopefully, we get to find out pretty soon. I really doubt it. I think they're going to hold that over our heads for a long time. But we'll see. Maybe we'll find out next episode whenever it does air. Overall, great episode. I loved everything that happened in this episode, and seeing the ending with Nanami and Gojo just waiting for Itadori. It seems like there's going to be another training session going on because Itadori definitely needs to get a lot stronger, and I'm wondering how his domain expansion is going to work if he does get one. Like, I feel like the main characters are not going to get that domain expansion because it just seems like way too OP, right? Essentially, if you create a domain expansion, your chances of winning are pretty high unless the other person is either a lot stronger than you or knows how to cancel the attacks out. It's a very interesting power system. I'm wondering how they're going to work that in, because again, I just don't see how somebody like Gojo is going to lose. If he can just overpower somebody's domain expansion, it's GG will play for the other person. So it seems to me like whoever is the strongest at creating domain expansions and can overpower the other persons is going to win. We'll see later on how this whole power system is gonna, explain itself out and how it's going to work. And hopefully that's not the case, because it would be like very boring fights, right? But so far, all the fights have been great. Everything has been awesome. I can't wait to see more of Jujutsu Kaisen. I really am enjoying this anime. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what did you think of this episode? Did you like it? You want to see more? What's your favorite villain? Are you as excited as for Mahito as I am? But yeah, let me know in the comments. And like always, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode.